On my fucking business, they ain't fucking with us. Clutching digits, tell the piggers fucking come and get us. Ain't no love for bitches, just for making dough. Can't I'm in this to the finish, just the way it go. On my fucking business, they ain't fucking with us. Clutching digits, tell the piggers fucking come and get us. Ain't no love for bitches, just for making dough. Can't I'm in this to the finish, let them haters know. Selling $1,000 bags, but I ain't a Gucci store.
Good evening and welcome to the Fortnightly Report for another episode. Tonight we have a very special guest on the show, Roberta Williams. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. We're getting some questions from the fans posted on Facebook. Zane Michael Williams said, do you believe or agree and think that it is unfair and hypocritical that corporate companies and government can get away with profiting and flooding society with pharmaceutical drugs and starting wars and killing people, but yet they label the likes of Carl a serial killer or gangland criminal when the real and the biggest criminals out there are the corporations and government? Deep question.
Yeah, it is a deep question. I agree. But the reason why they get away with it is because they make a profit off it.
Yeah.
So they don't profit off the drugs, so therefore they're made illegal, and Carl is labelled what he is to some people.
Ben Gerbert would like to know, how paranoid were you living the life you lived?
I was never paranoid. Paranoia never was part of my life.
Never looked over your shoulder?
Never looked over my shoulder once.
Yeah.
I'm still the same.
Yeah.
I've never ever had or been a paranoid person.
Yeah. Paranoia can keep you alert, but paranoia can also haunt you as well.
Paranoia can send you to many different places, and one can be insane, and that was certainly not a place I was going when that all was happening.
We're glad to hear that. Brent Scully said, have you ever thought about picking up a microbird, or you would have some real shit to spit?
Oh, that could be something for the future. Let's wait and see where we go with that.
Who knows? Luke Lyon said, if you had your time again, would you do things differently?
Yeah, I couldn't say what or how or when, but yeah, maybe I would change a few things and do a few things differently, yes.
Osh Adox Kent said, how do you feel about the way the media has portrayed you?
The media has portrayed me in many different lights, so yeah, some bad and some good. It's the way you control it as to how they portray you. So if you're in control, which I have been in certain stages of my life, it's been good, but in other parts, no, it's been bad because they've portrayed me badly. And it's how people pick it up as to how they want to take it in as well.
Yeah. They're gonna twist things to sell the papers at the end of the day, or sell their magazines.
Of course they are, yeah. They're going to twist and turn it to suit what they think their readers are going to want to read.
Cody Lay Beck said, was Benji anything like they made him out to be?
Not really. Benji was a kind, caring, loving person. That's the way I seen him.
Yeah.
Always with my kids, always loved the kids. The kids come before anyone. Loved me as a friend. We had a great relationship. So yeah, no, I would say they didn't portray him very good at all, no.
Billy Walter said, what does Roberta do day by day these days?
I look after my kids. I have a little boy who has a disability, autism.
Yeah.
I tend to focus on his needs and wants. We have lots of medical appointments we attend to, and we tend to focus on what he needs after we get, say, Dakota to school, get her off to school, and then he'll wake up and we kind of focus on what the baby needs.
So your most important role these days is the role of a mother?
Certainly is, and yeah, if something knocks on the door, which it may in the future, we'll look at that too.
Kai Kessel said, hey Bert, I read your book and it was both more interesting and believable than the TV adaptations. Did anything in the shows offend you in how you were portrayed and how they portrayed events that affected you? And if you, cut it.
Yeah, I hated the way, and I use that word strongly, hated the way they portrayed me as a mum.
Yeah.
Because me as a mum, I take very passionately my role as a mum.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't stand the way they portrayed me as a mother.
They didn't shed light on the duties day to day that you were taking on as a mother, and they want to focus on the negative things.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, it made me look really bad, because as a parent, I take that role very seriously.
Yeah.
And I look after my children very well, and people tend to notice that when they see me as a mum. So yeah, that the way they portrayed me as a mum really
You feel that they shed more lights on the negative aspects when that was probably a small portion of your life compared to the positive.
Yeah, and they tended to focus a lot on my parenting, because they knew that would really hit me hard.
Yeah.
And really bother me.
Yeah.
So I feel that they, really betrayed me bad.
And not many of those people would be able to see you in your day-to-day activities, what you do as a mother, and they'd only judge you of what they've heard through papers and reports by the media.
True. So very true, yeah.
And they take such small things and blow them into big
They
things.
certainly do. One little thing can be made to be so huge that people take it on board as believable.
Yeah.
So therefore they believe that and take the negativity out of it.
It's blown out of proportion.
Crazily, yeah.
Tani Child says, was the life as bad as it is on Underbelly? Did they amp up the storyline to make it a bit better for a TV series?
Well, TV always amps it up a little bit to make it look better. They add a bit of music.
Give it that Hollywood touch.
Yeah, bit of boobs, ass,
Yeah.
makes it look better. But in reality, there's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
And
A lot more going on behind the scenes than the little factual bits of information these producers have got on you.
Yes,
That's
really true.
available to the public domain.
yeah, there's so much more to it.
So there's so much behind the scenes. So is there still a lot of stories untold, like possibly reality TV programs in the future or anything like that?
Well, a person like me in my lifestyle would answer no comment to that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Forte.
There's a lot more to be told. So Jake Galea said, what type of music do you like?
What type of music do I like? I love Whitney Houston's music. God rest her soul.
Yeah.
I like heart and soul sort of stuff. Tracy Chapman.
Yeah.
Um,
You relate to women that have been through struggle?
I do, if they're singing about reality, yes,
Do you
not
feel
that
like-
made up sort of stuff that some musicians.
Do you feel like you can tell the difference between a real artist and the fake?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
If you love that music and you really take it in,
Yeah.
you can really see
Real
the
recognised
reality
real.
side of it. You do, because it really hits me in the heart when I know that it's coming from the heart.
100%.
Yeah.
The same for me with rappers. If I listen to a rapper, you can tell the real ones from the fake
You
ones.
certainly can.
Dylan Whitten said, do you miss the life in the fast lane?
God, has the fast lane ever ended?
Yeah.
Um,
Have you had time to sit and recollect, or has this life moved at an incredible pace where you...
Life's still moving at a fast pace for me.
Yeah.
And with my little boy having his disability, that keeps it moving even faster.
Constant go.
Constant on the move. So no, the fast lane hasn't stopped at all.
Adrian Gibson said, how did you and Forte originally meet?
Oh, that's a little story in itself. I come across a guy whose name was Anthony.
Yeah.
Beautiful guy.
Shout out to Chegs.
Hey Jegs, love you mate. You've really made us form a fantastic friendship, so thank you for that. He owned a few brothels that he wanted to buy some candles for. I make candles on the side at the moment to raise money. I donate to different charities.
Yep.
If I need money to pay for any treatment that my son needs, I use it for that. Otherwise, it all goes to charities.
What are some of the charities you work with?
Well, I just anonymously will donate money to Autism Australia.
Yep.
I like Starlight Foundation.
Yeah.
Anything to do with kids, I love.
Yeah. And I like the fact that that's anonymous, because a lot of people would just like to make a big thing about them donating to certain charities.
No, I don't really do it for that reason. I do it for the simple fact that I know every cent helps
Yeah.
with Seppi having his disability.
Because that struggle is directly related to your everyday life.
The struggle's hard because in itself it's a struggle, because if you don't have any funds or you don't have any help, where are you going to go?
Jay Cotterill said, "What do you think of the actor who played you on the Underbellies?"
What do I think of her? She was given a script and she played the role that she was given, so I can't really blame her for that. But and she played that part well from the script they'd given her.
Do you think she portrayed the real Roberta Williams?
No, I don't. I wish she had have come and spent a little bit of time with me and seen what I was really like,
Yeah.
how I spoke and what I did and how I behaved.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they didn't do that, and they have no idea of my day-to-day life, what that consists of, or how I behave, or how I conduct myself.
Luke Greenwood would like to know, Roberta, were you a hardcore street kid and were you a staunch bitch as a teenager?
I certainly was. I grew up on the street.
Yeah. Of Melbourne?
Yeah, of Melbourne, Frankston suburb. Used to sleep on the beach or on the trains with friends of mine. I certainly know what it's like to be hungry or cold.
So you really came up from the bottom?
Came up from the bottom, certainly did, yeah, the real bottom.
Are you still a staunch bitch?
Yeah, I certainly am. I grew up that way and I learned from a very young age, so
Yeah.
I think it's instilled in you forever, and that's the way I'll always be.
No. Henry Lovell said, how do you earn your money nowadays? And did cops seize your house, car, etc. when Carl got done?
Yep, we had all our assets seized, everything we owned. I own nothing now, and I just survive in a legal way.
Yeah, had to start again?
Yeah, and just function as a normal everyday person.
Dylan Coates would like to know, what does Roberta do of her life now? On top of looking after your child with autism, do you still look over your shoulder from the past, or?
I have day-to-day issues with the past, running into people at the local shops, just going to the service station's an issue.
Yeah.
Cameras in your face.
Constantly aware?
Constantly, the past is in my face.
Yeah.
If there was a camera on me 24/7, you would see.
What's some of the extremes that the media have gone to actually capture you?
When I give birth to my son, they hid in the bushes in a house across the road and snap photos.
Wow.
That's the extreme they go to. Any extreme they will go to photograph or film us, yeah.
And nothing is sacred, they just...
Nothing is sacred, but I do make a point that when they come out of the blue, my children get a little bit scared sometimes. So I tend to say to them, guys, my children are afraid, you're stressing them out, or something similar to that. Can you please turn off the cameras while my children walk past you or do other things? Leave them out, and they will abide by what I ask them to do. They're pretty good like that.
Joel Hanlon would like to know, do you smoke weed?
No, I don't smoke weed. I'm not against whoever smokes weed, because weed is utilised for many purposes, including cancer and other forms of illnesses.
Yeah.
My sister died from cancer 5 years ago.
Sorry.
So I'm a strong believer in utilising certain things to help people with illnesses like that.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm not against people who smoke weed.
Yeah.
It's
There's a lot
just
of
not.
worse things out there.
There is a lot of worse things out there, and I've never seen anyone kill anyone when
Yeah.
they've been smoking weed,
Yeah.
opposed to when people are drinking alcohol and go and punch people innocently who are walking down the street. They fall to the ground, they die, and they're dead because of some stupid person who's been out drinking all
Sure.
night.
Yeah.
Whereas people who smoke weed tend to sit at home, have a smoke, enjoy their friends' company or their selves' company.
Touching on that subject, like, I find it amazing that someone from Western Sydney could sell marijuana and be labelled a drug dealer, but from someone from California where it's legal could be labelled a doctor. And you've got such issues as alcohol-related violence in King's Cross, lockout times, all this sort of stuff. We have to lock the drugs out now to stop them from to actually drop these crime rates and the assault rates and the domestic violence rates and all that stuff. And something like marijuana will just... Everyone that smokes marijuana is in bed by 1:30 anyway. They're not affected by the lockdown.
That's true, and if I can get a point across, or if anyone can get a point across, I would like to say, you know, cut the violence.
Yeah.
Don't go and punch some poor bloke walking down the street because you've been out on the drink all night. Yeah. Have a drink, have fun, enjoy your friend's company, and go home. Don't go punching on and fighting or drink driving.
And if you smoke weed, the only thing you're punching is cones. So.
Yeah, and you're having fun doing that, and you're relaxing at home. Whereas if you're out on the piss, as I would call it, have a great time. Enjoy your friend's company. Go home safely. Catch a taxi, don't drive your car, but don't hit anyone on the way out because they're just innocent bystanders, these people who tend to be hit by drunks and end up dead for no reason.
And if you can't handle the alcohol, don't drink in the first place.
So very true, so very true.
Daniel Seedsby would like to know, how do you sleep at night knowing you're a ganger?
A ganger? What's a ganger?
What's a ganger?
Let me answer this one for you.
Ratesy, you can help me out here.
Alright, people at home, for those who don't know what a ganger is.
Tell this cunt.
I'll tell you. Remember that when that miserable whore left me a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, Roberta, I'm going to take you out and give you a good night, and you gave me that voucher to go to that high class fucking crackers house.
Yeah.
You know, slappers, whore house.
Ganger
house. Anyway, I went there and that miserable ganger that did nothing for me, I come out complaining, she was horrible. Turned out to be this Daniel Seedsby's mum.
Oh, I remember.
Was that your mum, Daniel?
You stormed in there
That's
and you're
fucked.
like, give Ratey's fucking money back, Mrs. Seedsby, you dirty whore.
That's why he's asking about gangers, because his mum's
That is
mum.
a ganger.
Oh,
So, people at
okay.
home,
That's fucked.
anyone calling Roberta a ganger?
And she
Ain't a
gladly
ganger. Daniel
gives...
Seedsby's mum is a ganger.
So now Daniel Seedsby's mum is a ganger, and now I know the meaning of a ganger.
There
Thank
you
you,
go.
Ratesy. I
So
love
if
it.
you're unsure what a ganger is, knock on Daniel Seedsby's mum's house.
Find a ganger.
Alan's Lolly's cuz said, did Mario Condello really make your neighbour hang himself?
That wasn't true. No, that wasn't
Some
true.
bullshit.
That was all just made up. That whole to do with that.
Koza A said, what's your favourite Oz rapper at the moment?
My favourite Oz rapper, who hangs out with me all the time, is right here with me now. So come on,
Calm
guys.
down.
Know who my favourite Oz
Welcome
rapper
to the
is.
Fun Honor
Thanks for having me.
What's going on?
This is my favourite Oz rapper. I actually got a couple more too that I like a bit as well. A lot. But the reason why I love Curse so much is because my little son, who has autism, as you're aware, loves one of Curse's songs, Never Change Again. And as soon as he hears it, he's absolutely mesmerised and just is focused on Curse singing. So I love Curse a little bit more.
It's a personal favourite for Roberta, isn't it?
Yeah. And there's Ratesy. Rates, come on, Ratesy, come in here, buddy.
Come back.
My buddy Rates, because I love his music. It comes from the heart, and he sings about life experiences, which is what all the boys do. And I love Forte's music too, because he sings of life experiences. I never really liked rap music before, but when I heard the boys' music, I could relate to it and understand it, so I become to love it. And that's what's pumped in my car these days.
And we love you too, Roberta.
And now
Okay,
we've all
that's right.
become mates and we're all pretty close. I love their music even more, and yeah, hopefully
Who knows what could happen in the future? Possible record labels, possible fucking studios.
Possible collaboration on a
A lot of possible fucking abilities, that's for sure.
yes, we can go many places, guys, together, but certainly not ganging places. That ain't me.
That's for Daniel's mum, isn't it?
Daniel's mum.
Me and Rates might go to the gang of places.
Maybe later.
But I don't know about everyone else. And on our final question, Ryan Mura said, what were the drugs like Carl made?
What were the
Stupid
drugs like
question.
Carl made? I've never in my life tried an ecstasy pill, and I can tell you that right now. So the pills he made, I never tried. Maybe you can ask some others. He
Allegedly
the pills Carl allegedly made.
If you'd like
I
to
never
know the
tried.
pills that Carl made, go check the evidence locker at the fucking Melbourne Police Station and ask them for a taste tester. But on this final note, Underbelly glamorizes the drug taking, the drug selling, the sex, the violence. Do you think it accurately portrays what's going on or what has gone on in the past?
No, not really, but as I said, if there was a camera following me around 24/7, they would see the accurate side of life, my life.
Are you hinting at a possible reality TV show in the near future?
As I said, forte in my life, the question I would answer to that would be no comment.
And that's the fortnightly report for another episode. I'd like to thank you, Roberta, for coming on our
Thanks
show.
for having me.
Thank you, Kirsta. Thank you, Rains.